This is the Forever Natural Podcast, episode number 9, and this is Jay Horn. So here's something that people don't really know, but within the enhanced bodybuilding side of fitness culture, there's a strange overlap that happens a lot. A lot of bodybuilding competitors and influencers, they're not strangers to substance use. As we know, or should know, most of them are using drugs to achieve the physique that they have. And this includes many who don't even compete. I truly believe that the majority of these fitness influencers today are enhanced in some way, whether they compete or not. But here's what I've come to realize. Many of these people were former drug addicts. A lot of bodybuilders who abuse PEDs, or performance enhancing drugs, were once deep into recreational drugs or alcohol. Here's the reality. When someone gets, quote, clean, it doesn't always mean they are free from addiction. In many cases, they just shift that addiction to something else, something more socially acceptable, and that's called addiction transfer. There's a big reason why people on AA become addicted to smoking cigarettes. That's literally what it is. It's an addiction transfer. When it comes to fitness, they swap substances for protein shakes and workouts. And if it was just that, then yeah, that's a positive change. It can be a good thing until it's not. And when it becomes not a good thing, some people become very obsessed with their body. And that is when it becomes not a good thing. Some people go very deep into this fitness rabbit hole and it segues into a new bodybuilding drug addiction. And if you've ever been dependent on drugs, you know that's a net negative. And this is actually more common than you think it is. This is their addiction transfer, swapping one recreational drug for another. And unfortunately, it's all being done in the name of health. You would think that after someone battles addiction and chooses to turn their life around, choosing health, choosing fitness, that they would never consider turning to performance enhancing drugs. But somehow they do. Hey, what's going on? So before you keep watching, I want to show you some of these natural transformations. Here is Chris. He was 220. We got him down to 190. Here is Jackie. She was 243, and we got her down to 166, and she has Hashimoto's. And here is Ryan. He was 270, and we got him down to 215. And here is Sam. She was 225, and she got down to 148. Look, this is my bread and butter. I can do this all day long. Natural transformations. I want to change your body. Check the description. There's a link. I have a community. We can drop up to 40 pounds in 6 months. Let's go. The reality is, addiction is a complex mechanism with many moving pieces. It fundamentally hijacks the brain's reward system. When someone uses drugs, the brain is flooded with dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for pleasure and motivation. Over time, the brain adapts and requires more of the substance to feel that same reward, and this leads to compulsive use. When the substance is removed, the brain is left craving dopamine hits. It looks for something to replace the missing stimulation. Exercise is the ultimate natural drug. It can release dopamine and endorphins, and that's great. It's a good thing. It's one of the few ways to get a natural high. And for people with a history of addiction, fitness can become the new go-to for that dopamine rush. And I think everyone would argue it's better to get it through natural means than using a substance. But if it goes too far, it can lead to obsession with that new behavior, and in turn, this could open people up to the rabbit hole of drug culture in fitness. And that's where the trainer you hire or the bro at the gym steps in to fill the gap. And they present to you performance-enhancing drugs. Seems like a simple fit. It's easy for a person to go from snorting coke to steroid site injections. It's justified that it's healthy, and these drugs are okay. And once people get hooked, it's hard coming off of them for both physiological and psychological reasons. These bodybuilding drugs can create a strong dependence. After being on them and getting results from them, People often associate their entire identity, self-worth, and confidence with how they look on the drugs. When they lose size, strength, or vascularity, it can trigger anxiety, body dysmorphia, or even depression, pushing them to keep using to avoid feeling like this. And if they don't go back on, the withdrawal phase can be brutal, especially with testosterone abuse. If their exogenous testosterone has been high for a long time and then it drops to nothing, you'll see mood swings, fatigue, and emotional instability similar to drug withdrawals. I mean, I don't know. To me, it seems like a crazy ride. I have literally seen guys blow up in a month and deflate a month later. And besides the physiological mess it can create, I can't even imagine the psychological strain it has. It's a beautiful thing when you're natural, folks. I mean, you stay the same size, there's no massive swings in your physique, and your nuts don't shrink. It's a win-win. But for real, there's no massive swings in emotions. Things are pretty stable over here, and I highly recommend it. And with many people who abuse these drugs, no matter how big or lean they get, it's never enough. So the constant dissatisfaction can further drive the bodybuilding drug addiction. And this goes for weight loss drugs too, like phentermine and Ozempic. And from what I've seen in the gyms, being in it for many years, it's very common for those who abuse bodybuilding drugs to also have a substance abuse past. But it shows you that a lot of people truly view bodybuilding drugs as the quote safe drug, and all other recreational drugs are unsafe and bad. So look, I'm not here to judge people who have battled addiction. Addiction is messy and complex, but it baffles me that people work so hard to clean up and then go right back to another drug addiction. So I want to highlight how fitness culture, especially the performance enhanced side of it, often becomes a hiding place for unresolved addiction. People quit drugs but never quit the high. They just find a new one. And unfortunately, in this industry, that high is often glorified, monetized, and labeled healthy. But in reality, addiction typically doesn't leave, it just changes. And if you're not careful, your fitness journey can become a different kind of prison, one with needles and pills. And to me, that isn't freedom. To me, that isn't health. So the next time you're tempted to compare yourself to these drug influencers online, remember, you're probably envying someone who's addicted to drugs, just in a more socially acceptable way. That's all I got. Thanks, everyone.